Gemini, what's good with y'all? Hope y'all doing all right. I ain't forget about y'all. You know what I mean? Just had to take a break real quick. That wasn't even real quick. I took a little mini departure, if you will. But what's going on with y'all? Hope everybody's feeling blessed, showing gratitude for the things that you do have, and hopeful for the things that you desire. You know? You gotta feel it. You gotta own it already, like it's already yours. I think there's a great strategy for self-belief systems in general. You know what I mean? Cards jumping out, but they're jumbled. You ain't taking those, not just yet. Want to get a good shuffle in, you know what I mean? So, what's going on with your day thus far? Mine's pretty much relaxing and doing tarot readings publicly at that. So, you know, a little change. I wouldn't say in direction, but just a little change in routine. You know what I mean? Trying this out, see how it goes. Pretty much. And we are now up to Gemini. So if you want to see previous readings, you can go check out the rest of the channel, the most recent uploads. You can check those out too. If you want to cross-watch, be my guest. You know what I'm saying? I ain't judging. It is what it is, you know? So, we're going to get into it. Okay, I got more control now. It feels like I got more control. We're going to get into this. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Building up the concentration level. Alright, I'm going to look at that card. I ain't going to take it, but I'm going to look at it. I'm going to just put that energy in the air before I cut the deck, you heard? The Lover's card is a Gemini card. Or so they say. I say that this is a Sun card, but we can leave that up for debate. Maybe that's what the debate is about. Got love on your mind, Gemini? Oh, they jumping out now. Oh, they pouring out now. Let me cut this deck. We already, 2-3 minutes into the... Alright, let me cut this deck and stop playing around. Because I'm curious as a Gemini right now to see what's going on with you. Alright, so... This is who you are right now, Gemini. Which is... Justice. Upright. What reading we had Justice in earlier? I believe it was the Cancer reading, yup. So, this may be in your mental space right now, Gemini, is Justice. You may feel that, or just pondering or curious about justice in general. How are people getting justice, obtaining justice? Is justice actually justified? Is justice blind? Because that is like the representation, the symbol of the judicial system, if I'm not mistaken, right? I'm fishing right now. Or you know what I'm thinking about right now? Is justice in the courtroom the same as justice in the universe? Because I think a lot of us want to believe that it is, like it's reflective, you know? And at the same time, we see people with wrongful convictions being turned over, being released after being incarcerated for so many years. People who can pay the lawyer to get off or get a little slap on the back of the hand type thing. You know what I mean? And speaking of that, I've been really wanting to do a Libra video, a 7th house video. But I'm just like prolonging it because it's going to be very controversial. And yeah, I guess I'm building up the momentum. But this is what I'm feeling where your mind is at, Gemini. I think you're curious about how those rules apply and do they reflect? Does the man-made judicial system reflect the justice that the universe provides? Because I think you've observed instances where it doesn't. but you've been able to identify when the universe has put their hand in and said enough is enough. I think you're also aware that the universe time is not all the time aligned with man's time, although the universe is in control of that as well. But it's like the judicial system is on a smaller scale because it's put in front of us. I think you also feel like publishing has taken a turn for the worse. And because of it, it could be affecting you in an emotional type of way. And I'm not even saying that that's a bad thing. Maybe you're too heady about the situation, and maybe you need to tap into your emotions just to be able to absorb this information better. Now, this might not directly apply to you. As a matter of fact, it just probably doesn't at all. However, I think your love for the things that you do love kind of feels jeopardized because of justice. I think you believe that people are not given what they give when they put their best mental efforts forward. I think you believe that even people are maybe punished because of that. And I think that's what the whole publishing thing, how that applies, how that comes into play. I think you're not happy with how people are crucified in the public eye, and you feel like it's orchestrated. It's unnatural. It's so man-made that it's ridiculous. You might even feel like AI could do a better job. Just keeping it a bean. So, what's affecting you, Gemini? What's actually affecting you? That's the energy. That's the Gemini energy right now. Justice. Justice is on the table. Justice is on the chopping block. Justice is actually being investigated by the spirit right now. Sheesh. That's kind of deep if you think about it. We should be thinking about it. This is a Gemini reading. How does this affecting you, though? You know what I'm saying? How is this affecting Gemini? We must know. How will they know? How will they know? Here we go. And that is the King of Wands in reverse. You see, I was feeling this. I kind of called it because you feel like advertising, which is ruled by your sign, Gemini, is running amok. You feel like it's so obvious that people are putting on this game face to promote themselves, and it's in a way that is stirring up the pot. And y'all get a lot of flack, the sign in Gemini, period, because y'all are usually pointed at for doing this type of stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't know, Gemini. Are you affected by this because you are utilizing the tool of marketing and advertising, which you rule over, in a way that is deceitful, in a way that promotes yourself as a devious person? And if so, is that part of your dual nature, your game face over here and the person you really are over here? Or which of the two animals you feed more? Which of the two faces you feed more? Are you having fun with being the ruler of advertising and marketing? Because there's a feeling of deviousness that's attached to that. And if you got to do what you got to do, sometimes people feel they got to do what they got to do. You know what I'm saying? So they market their brand the way that they got to market their brand to get the psychological touch and get the wheels turning in a psychological aspect in order to get their sales, in order to get their money, in order to generate their clout. Um, this is a sector of the world. It's not like we can avoid it or that we should avoid it. This is how things done. Things will get done. You know, they call in psychologists into the marketing room. Why would they do something like that? Because they know how certain sigils and emblems and colors and tones, when expressed, can manipulate the masses. It just is what it is. If you're attracted to the color red, you're attracted to the color red. You may feel passionate. You may feel powerful. You may feel rage. It is what it is, right? And it's a learning center. It may just be a learning thing for you, Gemini. And I'm not accusing you of this. I'm just, because the question is asked, what is affecting you right now, right? What is affecting you right now? And we need to know. The people need to know. We need to know. So, there's that, right? But now that we have that out there, I want clarification because, like I said, I don't just want to make a mere accusation, but we do have to pay attention that your reading started with the Justice card. So this could be a warning for you to check your temperature when it comes to marketing and advertising, if that's what you're doing. If you're intentionally leading people astray because of a psychological pull or trance that you're putting people under, you might need to be warned that justice will be served. And how that's going to end up, we're not totally sure yet. But let's get some clarity to see if it's you or if it's somebody else. Got the Emperor card. So this is what you value right now. And it came out sideways, so I'm gonna take both descriptions into consideration. So with the Emperor, of course, we're talking about the commander-in-chief, pretty much. We're talking about materialistic wealth and abundance, and pretty much ruled with an iron fist. Someone who's put in the work and who's been holding it down and has the experience to actually hold that position. This is someone who, via experience, is a father figure in the world. So this is you, and you know, this is what I'm feeling. I'm feeling this is you. So you may be a king in your own right, Gemini, and you've came a long way through some type of business. You're into some type of business that enabled you to obtain this type of wealth. Yeah. But at the same time, yeah, Gemini, this is looking more and more like you. Like, I can't just be all roses and positive because I'm doing a reading. You know what I mean? All signs, since 3 cards are pulled, are pointing to you. So you can be abusing your power. This is a warning reading, Gemini. You could be abusing your power due to a lack of discipline. I think integrity is involved here. Like I said in the beginning, I think your ability to be able to feed 2 faces. Everybody's not psychologically duped. You know what I mean? As much brain power as you possess, some people can see through it. And it's getting easier to be able to see through marketing campaigns that are just, you know, I thought of a name immediately. Let's just say I got my Lamborghini back here that I just bought. Like, a lot of people are seeing through that shit these days. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh no, not another one of these. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are skipping through these commercials real fast these days. I even know some people that got the what's the version called? The red, YouTube red type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they just done with the bullshit, B. Like they just through with the in your face. Here, take this. The feeding of manipulation. And not for nothing, I feel like I'm talking to a older, established Gemini. When I say older, I mean mature. All right? So you at least got a Saturn return under your belt, is the Gemini that I'm speaking to right now. You have to have that at least in order to hold this position of the Emperor. And you might be getting it how you live, because obviously you've had a run, right? You've had a run to become this successful and be able to hold this throne like you are. And I think you are made aware. You were made aware of this justice. And how can I clarify that? There's been some type of relationship that you are involved in that has encountered some disruption of some sort. And it's like, they're like, yo, they revealed to you that there's some love lost. There's some love lost because of the way that you operate. And the way that you take action is predominantly based upon the things that you have and the status that you have. And it rubs them the wrong way because they feel like you're non-cooperative. So that has made you aware. This sounds like a medieval tale, like the king calling in Daniel, like, yo, come tell me your dream, or it's off with your head type shit. I don't know if that's exactly how the story went. Daniel was one of my favorite stories in the Bible, but I know it went something like that. Like, yo, tell me the dream that I had last night. And Daniel's like, I don't even know the dream that you had. He's like, yeah, I know. Tell me anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you actually possess that kind of power. And that's kind of the reason why people are getting fed up. Like, yo, this motherfucker's kind of bogged out. Or chick. Could be a chick too. Like, yo, I'm telling you. I know some chicks, some Aries at that. It's an Aries card. That give it up like emperors. They embody that energy, so I'm just keeping it a bean with you, Gemini. Alright, so if you value this, it is what it is. I'm told not to take that. But we want to know what's bothering you. I think I already explained it, but I'm taking that one. We're going to clarify it. What is this? Tell me what this is. Oh, you value returning to your roots. And why would that be? I think it's because it reminds you of a time when you were innocent. When we're talking about the Six of Cups, we're talking about going back to where you were emotionally fulfilled through the influences that you had as a child, and you miss the innocence of being a child. I think one factor is that I'm feeling is because you weren't held responsible for being psychologically manipulative. Because if anyone is psychologically manipulative, it's children. I think we don't give them enough credit for being that way, but it starts with a simple cry to say, yo, I need my bottle, I want my bottle, I want something to eat, I need some titty around this motherfucker, come set me out. You know what I'm saying? Set that out for the kid. And I think you are reflecting on those times, and you kind of feel like you've been a mental genius ever since you can remember. You might have even learned your tactics from someone else that gave you the game at a young age. You might even feel like they made you this way. Don't blame me, blame the game. You know, that type of energy. But it's bothering you, it's fucking with you. Because you can also remember that people gave to you and people nurtured you as a child without having to have some type of hand in manipulating people. This might have been just, I don't want to use the word regular, but everyday people that went to work, got their checks, and did what they could for the, the family roots. Six of Cups, that family support. And you're like, damn, how I come from that to this corporate world that has me so ready to do the unthinkable or the most daring tactics in order to maintain the status that you've obtained. And you can't even blame, how should I say it? You can't feel sorry or feel guilty is what I'm trying to say. You can't feel guilty for becoming who you are because it's just who you were supposed to be, or you wouldn't be this person. You wouldn't be this emperor. It's just who you were destined to be. So you can't feel guilty for people looking out for you the way that they did when you was coming up. I think that's what's troubling you. I think that's what you're feeling right now because you love those people. You do. But in some type of way, you may have these people blocked on Facebook, or you only make posts to a certain group of people that excludes these people because you don't even want them to see the shit that you're talking about. You don't even want them to see the shit that you're doing. Out of respect for the love that you have for them. And it's because of this relationship that was brought to your attention of the disruption of the love. It interfered with the love. So they like, yo, I'm out. I can't really do this with you because you out for self. You're very full of yourself. You're very stubborn. And there's an understanding, I think, of, okay, well, you got to be that way. But that doesn't mean I got to be that way. Like, they're not in harmony with you. Okay. Let's see what's going on in the short term, Gemini. Taking that. This is the short term. What we looking at? We got the Four of Swords in reverse. So you're having an awakening. I knew this would come around. I knew this would make even more sense. This is like, I'm telling you, it's like that story with Daniel. When the emperor is like, listen, come in here because I had a dream and the shit is terrifying. I think my empire is in jeopardy. And so now, in the short term, you're finding the mental strength because you've had an awakening about being out of touch. You're out of touch over everything you rule and everyone you rule. So again, I know this reading is not going to fit every Gemini. But for those Geminis that this resonates with, you don't even have to get in the comment section and be honest about it. Because this is a position of power that, you know how it is, heavy is the head. You know what I mean? So for you to come to terms with you being out of touch with everything that you rule over, I think that's sobering enough to say, okay. And that's probably why you strategized your marketing and advertising in a way that maybe, what's that term that they use? Reinventing yourself. So it comes across as, is he serious? Is she serious? Like, yeah, right. Like, we know who you really are. We know what you really are. Cut it out. Knock it off with the whole rebranding your image type shit and all that. Like, no. But you understand that with more experience, that there's another side to this. There's a people side. And This what's bothering you of returning to your roots is reminded you that you've come from a community that showed you support. These people were boots on the ground, everyday people who had their hands in the mud. And you've lost your way when it comes to that. You've been far removed from that. So now you want to rejoin the world. You want to come out of the isolation of that throne, because the emperor will get up off their throne and get busy and still take action. It doesn't matter how old they get. They still about that life. So I think at this level, at that level of status, you haven't done that because you feel, why should you? You have the status. What's the point of having a status if you still got to always be taking action? You got your scars, you got your medals, you got your, you know what I'm saying? You got your stripes. So why should you? But that's where you're at right now. You're trying to gain the mental strength to speak about it. And speaking about it some ways comes through, well, first of all, that's up your alley, communication. But it may also come in the form of, like I said, marketing and advertising. Rebranding yourself to where you're more relatable. It's kind of like softening your heart a bit because of this reflection on your familial roots. You may be feeling guilty. You may have a guilty conscience, Gemini. Straight up. You may have a guilty conscience. It may be eating at you. It seems like, it feels like it's eating at you. And you feel like you have to do this to have some type of sanity for yourself. You know when people start thinking about how they want to be remembered and their legacy and stuff like that, things like this can occur. Rulers, heads of states, they start coming up with these new plans and laws that they want to pass because it's election time. It's a scheme, right? It's a marketing scheme. But nonetheless, there be some inklings and some traces of authenticity in there. Because like I said, once the major arcana is hovering over, it's like an eerie feeling that could come across you if you're on the chopping block and you taking up your lot in life. This last card is struggling to come out. This is for the long term. I want to know what it is. There it goes. What's this, the Seven of Pentacles, I think? It sure is. So you'll be making some types of investments in the long run, and I think it's directly attached to whatever this rebranding that you're doing of yourself. It's going to be something that is still selfish nonetheless, don't get me wrong. But it's going to be something that feeds the land in some type of way. The card is talking to me with this one. You see that big bush that has grown from the planting? That one seed grew all of that. And you're looking at it like, okay, wait till they see this. Wait till the people of the land see this. I think you're looking at it because you know that it's going to be a form of a payout. I think you're making this investment merely for the people because you have it all already. What else is there to conquer? You're the emperor in this reading. So it's like the same nurturing that you remembered in your family roots and your community growing up that was bothering you is the reason why you've done this. You've put in the work to do this because you can. You're doing this simply for the fact that you can. Everybody can't do this. You got the resources, the experience, the connections, and the status to do this. So you're doing it because you can, and in return, you're going to nurture the land with this investment. This is going to take some time, though. So it makes even more sense why this is the card for the long term. This is not going to be no overnight thing, but I think that's why you're gearing up to create the marketing of like a changed man, a changed woman, And just to save face, you may do it in a way that says, you're an advanced man or an advanced woman. You've upped another level in order to save face. You know what I'm saying? I think you still are going to keep that to maintain your status. You're just going to look. I'm gonna build some shit. I'm gonna grow some shit that's gonna feed y'all. Don't expect too much from me now. You know what I mean? And that's my reading for y'all, Gemini. I'm out.